my becoming girlies, this is probably one of the hardest videos that I had to make. I've started this video about 10 times, okay? I've recorded it, deleted it, recorded again, cried, okay? I stopped recording and then try again because today I'm finally telling you guys the truth about what happened in nursing school. And if you've been following me for a while, then you know nursing wasn't just something that I decided to do one day. It became my dream, right? Recently, I felt out of my nursing program. When I tell people that, most people think that this is the whole story, but it's not. The real story started years ago, before nursing school, before my husband, before babies. It started back when I graduated high school in 2017. Back then, I didn't want to be a nurse at all. At all. And not even a little bit, you know. Actually, my dream was to become an actress. I wanted to be on TV. I wanted to tell stories. I wanted to perform, to entertain people. I wanted to make people feel something, you know. So right after high school, I went to Bethune-Cookman University. My major was theater and my minor was communication studies. At 17 years old, I was convinced that acting was my future. Okay, nobody couldn't tell me nothing. I remember feeling excited and finally remembering that my life was about to begin, right? I was moving away from home, starting college, meeting new people, becoming an adult. At least that's what I thought. Honestly, that first year was the hardest year of my life. I ended up with a roommate that made my whole college experience miserable. Every day felt stressful. I was really uncomfortable there. I was unhappy. I was homesick. I was alone. I needed to go home. And by the end of the school year, I just knew one thing for sure, that I was not going to go back. Then on top of everything else, my financial aid became a complete mess. My FAFSA, my funding, there were issues with my funding and everything felt like it was falling apart. I made the decision to stay home. Back home that summer, I went back to my old job. That's where I met my husband, the man that supported me throughout the hardest moments of my life. And before I knew it, we fell in love. Everything was just moving really fast. Then in 2019, I become a mom. Now, let me tell y'all something. Nothing prepares you for becoming a mother. Nothing. One minute you're thinking about yourself, the next you're thinking about the little human that depends on you for every single thing. Becoming a mom completely changed me. The moment that my life really took a change was when I was in labor. While I was giving birth to my son, there was a nurse helping to take care of me. And she was so kind, patient. She was so caring, guys. So calm. And then for the first time in my life, I saw nursing differently. Before that moment, I thought nurses just give medications and take vitals. Okay, I never realized how much of an impact a nurse can make in someone's life. I never really realized how much comfort they would bring. And then I remember thinking, I could do this. That could be me. Maybe this is what I'm supposed to do. Maybe God has something different planned for my life. So in 2020, I started taking my prerequisites, anatomy and physiology. And let me tell you something, the classes that the nursing student takes are no joke. Classes are very hard. And I was doing that. And I was doing all of that while being a mom, trying to balance classes, trying to balance work, trying to balance life, trying to figure everything out. And then COVID happened. Everything shut down. Classes moved online, and honestly, I hated it. I'm not an online person. I'm more of a classroom. I need to see the teacher. I need to be able to see the face-to-face interaction with the teacher. That's how I learned. And when everything went online, I struggled. Eventually, I just stopped, you know. And it's not because I didn't want it, but because mentally I was in a place where I couldn't just keep going. Then in 2022 comes around, I tried again, right? I went back, still working on my prerequisites, still trying to become a nurse, still pushing. But at that point, I was getting frustrated, you know, because nursing felt so far away. The prerequisites alone takes years. Okay. I felt like everything was moving so slowly. Everybody else was moving forward and I was just still standing still, you know? That's when I made a decision that would completely change everything. In 2024, I went to LPN school. At the time, it felt like the perfect option for me. I was tired of taking the prerequisites. I was tired of feeling like nursing was years and years away. I wanted to start my nursing career. I wanted to move forward. So when I got accepted to the nursing program, I was excited. I was celebrating. I felt like this was it, this was my chance. This was the beginning of everything that I've been working for. I remember walking into the first class thinking, this is it. I'm finally going to be a nurse. The beginning was not easy. Nursing school is very hard, very hard. It's not about memorizing information. You have to think differently. You have to answer test questions differently. You have to learn how to think like a nurse. And it was difficult for me. But I kept pushing every day, every test, every assignment. I kept pushing. I kept telling myself that, Ashley, you can do this. You can do this. Then the very last day of the course came. The very last day. I still remember it. I'm waiting. I'm hoping. I'm praying, guys, thinking everything was going to work out for me. And then I found out I failed by 2 points. 2 points. I don't think people understand how painful that feels for you to be able to fail a course by 2 points. It's not like it was 20 points. I was right there, guys, so close, and somehow still it's not enough. I remember feeling like my heart sank. I remember feeling so disappointed in myself. I was embarrassed. I started crying immediately. I called my husband, I called my mom, and I said, oh my goodness, I let everyone down. I felt like I had let myself down. I worked so hard and it still wasn't enough. But here's the thing. I never thought about quitting. Not once. I was hurt. I was devastated, but I wasn't done because nursing wasn't just something I wanted it. It was something that I saw myself doing. So I waited. I waited about 2 months before I would go back again. And when I was waiting, me and my husband actually got married, which was the happiest moment of my life. I married my man, the person who believed in me even when I didn't believe in myself, the person who kept telling me, you can do this, Ash, you can do it. And then I got pregnant again. So now I'm married, I'm pregnant, preparing to go back to school. I went back anyway because pregnant wasn't stopping nothing, because I still had a goal. I still had a dream, and I wasn't ready to give up on it. I repeated the first course, and then this time I passed. The feeling of passing the class that you feel feels incredible. Okay, I felt proud of myself. I felt relieved, finally thinking to myself that my hard work is paying off. And then I move on to the second course. I passed that too, by the grace of God. At this point, I started thinking to myself, actually, this is finally your time to shine, girl. It's finally your time to shine. Maybe all the setbacks are behind me now. Maybe everything's finally coming together. And then came course 3. Course 3 said, here I go. Med-surg. Y'all, this class changed every single thing. Every single thing. This class was hard. It was not a regular hard. Not a study a little bit harder. This class was intense for me. The information was coming at us nonstop. Chapter after chapter. Exam after exam. Every time I felt like I understood something, there was another chapter waiting, and another test waiting, another assignment waiting. Okay? At this point, I'm pregnant, very pregnant. Trying to wake up in the morning would be a struggle. I would wake up around like 5:30, 6 o'clock. I would pray, get ready for class. Sometimes I would do a little light breakfast, boil some eggs, and I'm out the door, right? And honestly, guys, there were days when I was exhausted before the day even started. I wasn't sleeping. I would stay up till 1 or even 2 o'clock in the morning trying to study, and then wake a few hours later just to wake up to do it all over again. Meanwhile, I had a child at home, homework, family responsibility. I'm a mother. I'm a wife, being pregnant, trying to study, trying to remember medication, trying to remember the disease process, trying to remember everything. I was just so exhausted physically, mentally, emotionally. And then something started to happen. I started to compare myself to other students. I would look around the classroom and think, why does everyone seem to get it? They're passing, they're doing fine. What is wrong with me? The comparison, guys, it started to eat me alive because every failed exam made me feel worse. Every low score made me doubt myself, and eventually I failed. I failed course three. And honestly, I wasn't even shocked anymore. I was just so tired mentally, emotionally, and physically. I was so tired. At that point, I was about 7 months pregnant, guys, and I made the decision to step back. I told myself that I was gonna have my baby and come back. I'm going to reset, come back even stronger, and that's exactly what I did. So after my baby, I came back. I was determined. I told myself that it was going to be different this time. I had a fresh start, a fresh mindset, a supportive husband that was there by my side to support me. And I was ready to prove to myself that I really can do this. So I went back and repeated course three. The same course, the same med surge course, the same instructor, the same class that had already broken my heart once. And I really wish this story was a happy ending, guys. I really wish I could tell you that I passed. I really wish that I tell you guys I came back stronger and everything worked out. But that's not what happened. I struggled again. The exams were still hard. The questions still didn't click for me. And it seemed like it clicked for everyone else. No matter how much I studied, no matter how much time I tried, no matter how much videos I watched, no matter how many notes I took, no matter how badly I wanted it, I wasn't performing well on my exams. And eventually I failed the class again. And that hurts more than the first time. Because after the first time, I could tell myself, okay, Ashley, you could try again. You could do this again. But after the second failure, I had to face reality. I was told that because I failed the course twice, that I would have to start the entire program from the beginning, from course one, not course three, not where I left off, course one, the beginning, all over again. And then I remember sitting thinking, are you serious? I worked this hard. I sacrificed this much. I stay up all night. I missed sleep, studied until my eyes hurt. Went to school pregnant, raising a child. I gave birth. I came back. I try again. And now you telling me that I must start all over again? I cried, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie. I cried like I was a baby. Because I felt like I failed not just a class, but myself. I was embarrassed, guys. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I felt dumb. And I know some of you watching this video might feel that way too. Maybe not in nursing school, maybe in life, like in your career, in your business, or even your relationship. Maybe in something you worked so hard for, you gave it everything that you had, and somehow it still didn't work out. This feeling is heartbreaking. And for a while, I started asking myself questions like, what is wrong with me? Why can everyone else do it, but I can't? And why am I still in school at the age of 26? Why am I still trying to figure it out? Why does it feel like everybody else is ahead of me? And honestly, for a little while, I felt behind in life because at 26, I thought I would be settled into my career. And I thought I'd be working as a nurse. I thought I'd already be where I wanted to be. Instead, I was sitting there feeling like I'm starting all over again. But then God reminded me of something. Because somewhere along the way, I started comparing myself and my life to other people. And God never told me to do that. I was comparing my chapter 5 to somebody else's chapter 20. I was comparing my journey to people who have completely different lives than me. They have different circumstances. They have different responsibilities, different paths. And that's not fair because the truth is I've accomplished a lot. I'm a mother. I built a family. I've survived things people don't even know about. I've gotten back up more times than I can count. And yes, I failed nursing school, but nursing school is not my identity. A grade is not my identity. And if you're watching this right now and you're struggling, I need you to hear me. Failure is an event. It is not who you are. One failed class doesn't make you a failure. I don't know exactly what God is doing right now. I don't know why this is happening, but I trust Him. I trust God because every time I thought my life was falling apart, God was actually redirecting me. If I never left Cookman, I would have never met my husband. If I never became a mom, I might never wanted to be a nurse. If I never failed, maybe I wouldn't be sitting here sharing my story with someone who needs to hear it. This is just a chapter, a hard chapter, but it's a chapter, and it's not the final chapter. Because one thing about me, I don't quit. Yes, I'm gonna cry. Yes, I'm gonna get discouraged. Yes, I'm gonna get a break. Yes, I'm gonna need time to heal, but I will not quit. And one thing for sure, two things for certain, I will be a nurse. Maybe not this year, maybe not next year, but one day Ashley will have that RN behind her name. And I believe that. My husband believes that. My children will see that. And most importantly, God already knows how the story ends. So if you're watching this right now and you're going through a season where you feel stuck, pray. Trust God. Trust God. Remember your why. Keep going. Do not let a setback come at you that your dream is over, because it's not. Sometimes it's just preparation. And this is why I'm starting this series of becoming me, so that I can bring you guys along with me. This series will not stop until I become a nurse. I'm documenting everything, everything. Thank you guys for being a part of my becoming me journey. And if you guys like this video or you find it interesting, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel. We are so close from hitting 600 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. I know by the time this video is up, you guys will hit that 600 subscribers. If you watch and you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Okay? We have a goal we need to reach here. And I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye, guys.